Yesterday after stream, I was literally like reaching to turn off the GameCube when I realized that I hadn't saved. My hand was like on the power button, and I was like, wait, shit, no, I haven't saved. But I did save, so we're good. Don't have to redo the first 7 or whatever. The game is good. The game is pretty solid so far. I haven't really gotten... I'm still in like easy mode pretty much. So it hasn't really gotten so bad. We'll see, maybe on the hardest difficulty, it's just like impossibly hard or something weird. But yeah, right now I am here. We gotta fill all those squares. We got a lot of work to do. These were all 1-lap races. These are 2-lap races. I don't know, but I'm kind of guessing that these are going to be 3 and 4-lap races. I really hope that's not the case. But also each square is 3 races. This was like 3 races of 1 lap each for a square. This is 3 races of 2 laps each for the square. It's like if this goes up to 4, then I'm going to be a very sad gamer. But I don't know if it will. We'll have to see about that. We're currently in the middle class. I am a bit curious about this because it's just called Champion. Okay, no, that is still 3 races. It was called Champion Race Singular, so I was wondering about that. Yeah, we'll do the Clubman Trophy, I guess. I don't know what kind of cars are allowed. I would like to pick a car that sucks less than the one that I'm currently using. Like, if it'll let me use the Honda Civic, that would be great. Oh, sick, it is. Okay, this car is clearly way better. I don't know if there's any restrictions on which car you pick then. Maybe I should have gone for an even better one. But yeah, I could see... Now, I know that whenever I say these things, I live to regret them, but I could see, like, half a stream of this, half a stream of Future Tactics to Uprising. I think that would be ideal. This plus Future Tactics, or this plus Metal Arms. One of those 2 games. But yeah, it's very Auto Modelista looking in terms of like... I mean, the cars are cel-shaded, so that's where the Auto Modelista comes from. But it like looks a lot cheaper and crappier than that. And I don't know. It's been a really long time since we played Auto Modelista, so I don't exactly remember what the courses looked like, but I have to imagine they looked a little better than this. The car models in this game aren't bad, though. The car models really aren't the problem. Also, for the record, I like how the tracks look. They're pretty crappy looking, but I like them. Yeah, this is... I mean, we're kind of this game is the same way, where, like, this game does have the Japanese highway track. It does have the Suzuka circuit, but not track. They're hitting all those points. It has, like, the mountain drifting track. It's doing all of those Japanese racing game things. Yeah, this game does need... Like, it tells you up at the top, but it doesn't have, like, a guy telling you. Like in a rally game or something. This game could maybe use that. I'm winning by kind of a lot. That's good. So, like... you can, like, this is the difficulty we're playing at the moment, and I have to play at this difficulty for another, like, 20 plus races. So it just kind of like, yeah, I don't know, whole lot of holding A and turning. Yo, what's up, PQ? Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll never make me do more than 2 laps. Because I do kind of feel like 2 laps is the perfect length, given how long each lap is. We're getting like a 3.5 minute long race time. That's perfect. Yo, hey, Ludacris. I know, it's very surprising to see me here at my normal stream time. Actually streaming 2 days in a row. That is a surprise recently. Wait, did the Wii version of this get an English release? I didn't know that. I knew there was a Wii version. I didn't know it actually got released outside Japan. We were looking at the developers' credits yesterday, and the developer of this game made those Pets games for Ubisoft. Not all of them, because there are way too many. But they made the original Dogs with a Z and Cats with a Z. So I feel like that just, like, unleashed a horror upon the world, and it's MTO's fault, and they were also making this at the same time. It was a US launch title? Man, that's crazy. I really don't know any Wii launch titles off the top of my head, other than, like, Twilight Princess and Wii Sports, because of course. I can't think of any others. I'm sure there were several. Was Excite Truck a launch title? Red Steel? That must have been early, right? That was probably an early one. At least. Launch in all regions? Yeah, makes sense. I feel like I need to play that sometime. Red Steel 1 and 2. Definitely like a series of games that was like lightly relevant at the time that nobody thinks back on, which kind of just makes me interested, you know? It's like, yeah, people did used to kind of care a little bit about that, didn't they? Like, only a little bit. And you could, hear me out. The console challenge is to play the launch titles for every console. Only the launch titles. Does that make any sense? I'm not sure thematically you get much from that, but, you know, it's an idea. You'd have to play Eternal Ring for the PlayStation 2. There's a lot of weird PS2 launch titles, actually. And then for some consoles, like the N64, you'd just knock the whole thing out in a day. That's it. Today is N64 day. Console launched with Pilot Wings, Super Mario, and Wayne Gretzky's Hockey 64, or something like that, and that's it. Cool console. Banana Blitz was a launch title? Really? I no longer have that. I don't know where it went. Oh, I know what happened to it. Yeah, but I did have that. And it was bad. I did not enjoy that game. There's like that HD version of it that exists now. And it's still bad. You just can't fix it. They made a new Monkey Ball game. Oh, that was 2 laps. That was really short. I didn't even notice. They made a new Monkey Ball game kind of recently, right? I don't know if that one's any good, finally. I feel like every couple of years they come back with another Monkey Ball game. And everyone's like hopeful that this will be the one. And then, I don't know. I don't know if it ever is. Yo, reclining seats? That's important for racing. And we got the ASL car. Alright, time for the Nah party. I wish that it would tell me more clearly which cars I was allowed to select. Like, is this car gonna... It works, okay. I feel like sometimes I'll pick a car from there, and then it'll be like, nope, not this car, has to be a different one. And they don't even, like, guide you to that other car in the menu. You have to go, like, find it, and it's just a little bit strange. Anyway, this car seems way faster than the other ones. This ought to be good. You'll vouch for Banana Rumble? That's good. I just, like, have a hard time playing any Monkey Ball without the GameCube controller. Like, it just... You need those notches. Without the notches, it feels all wrong. Like, I did play through when they did that Super Monkey Ball, like, 1 and 2 HD thing a year or two ago. I actually did play that, and I found it to be way, way, way harder. Even though it was just the same levels. I can play through Super Monkey Ball 2 in my sleep, but it was just, like, impossibly hard. Because it's analog stick, and I'm dumb, I guess, or something. I don't know how anyone plays it like that. I also played the PS Vita Monkey Ball. I'm the only person on Earth who's played that game. But I remember hearing at the time that it was good, actually, and so I got it, and it is kind of okay. That's the same situation as Katamari on Vita, where it's like, yep, I've played that, and I've never met anyone else who has played either of those games. Because PS Vita. I kind of want to play Vita Ridge Racer at some point. Add to the collection. Man, I'm actually losing this race right now. It's been so long since I've powered on my Vita. And, like, last time I used it, I had, like, installed, like, an SD card reader, but, like, not the normal way, like, a different weird way. And I was just, like, afraid to even power it on after that. And, like, the homebrew's all fucked up on there. So I'm just kind of afraid of my Vita. I don't know if it works. And I'm afraid to find out. So I haven't turned it on in, like, 6 years or something like that. But also, what would I even do with it? I had to play Guitar Hero, I had to power on my Wii U for the first time in a very long time. And my Wii U immediately updated itself and ruined everything. Thanks, Wii U. Literally, when I powered it on, it was like, there's an update available. And I knew that a couple of years ago, they did an update to just, like, update some SSL certificate or something. Like, not a breaking update, but an update nonetheless. So I was prepared for that to be there. But I just said no to it and, you know, continued on my way. But then overnight, it just fucking updated itself anyway while I was asleep, thinking I wouldn't notice. And so then the next day, I go to power on the Wii U and all the homebrew on it is broken. So I haven't fixed that. I probably should fix it before I put the Wii U away again. But, like, it didn't break the Wii side of things. Like, the Wii side of the console is still hacked, so I'm kind of just like, keeping all these things up to date is so annoying. Like, I think my 3DS is horribly out of date as well. With the 3DS, they kept, like, changing the method you're supposed to use. Where it was like, you're supposed to install it like this. And then it's like, oh no, we found a new hack that's better. Use this one instead. And then, like, every year while the 3DS scene was alive, they would find a new hack that you're supposed to use instead. And then you'd have to update all your old shit. And I think I quit halfway through, so my 3DS is horribly out of date as well. But that's another thing that I never use, so it's fine. For the record, I don't think I have much of an opinion about kilometers versus miles. That's not one of the ones I have an opinion on. Like Celsius versus Fahrenheit, like, okay, there's some discourse to be had there. Kinda, but like, a kilometer is just as useful as a mile. It just depends on what you're used to and can visualize clearly. And because I'm an American, that's miles. So to me, if someone says, it's a mile away, I know exactly what they're talking about. But if someone says, it's a kilometer away, I have to stop for a second and be like, okay, hang on, wait. Okay, yeah, I got you. So for that reason, I'm going miles, but not for any real reason. I don't really think in the context of, like, driving the car, it matters. Like definitely, you know, I understand the whole, like, metric system, powers of 10, like, all of that. All makes perfect sense. But in the context of, like, distance while driving the car, and it's because I'm playing a racing game. Damn, I lost that race. Because I'm playing a racing game, that's what we're talking about. Like, in that context, I don't think it matters. I have to win this now, or the RX-8 is going to take it from me. I don't know if you can get away with a silver medal, or if you have to get all golds. I don't know if this game has drafting. Like, do I go faster if I'm behind another car? I don't think so. 184. Nah, it doesn't seem like I do. 185. No, it's because we're going downhill that my speed is increasing there. I assume that's the RX-8 in front of me. I kind of forgot what color to be looking out for, but that's gotta be him, right? Oh, this game totally has drafting. Okay, look at that. I shot up to 200 when I got behind him. Japanese cars are electronically limited to 112 miles an hour. Really? Never heard that before. I've seen some shit on the highway here in New Jersey, so I think I support that, actually. I've seen some absolute shit on the turnpike. Uh-oh. I wish I could check who's behind me. Like, there doesn't seem to be a way to do that. There doesn't seem to be any way to do that. Yeah, D-pad doesn't do it. But I really wish I could see that. Hello, Yimo. Oh shit, we got the 4th horn already. Well, we have to check it. Hang on. First of all, I also need to install my reclining seats. Wait, this improves your handling? Why? Why does the reclining seat make your handling better? Is it because you're comfier, so you have better control of the car? Ugh. I think I have to stick with Type C. We're gonna stick with Type C. Wait, hold up. It might have just undone my seat. Now we're good. Not a great start. It's a good-looking car model, sort of. I'm already on lap 2. Uh-oh. This is really bad. Alright, goodbye. Yeah, they did some cell shading. The sort of like cell shaded shine they give to it looks really weird when the camera pans across the front like that, like the white part of the car that's supposed to be the light reflecting off it. I think it's like too low resolution or something, so it just kind of like skips across the surface of the car. It's okay. And get out of my way, please. Well, now drafting's not working, so I don't know why I shot up to 200 that one time. Oh, okay, no, it is kind of working. Maybe. I don't know. I got him. Wait, what's sus about my car? Aside from it being red. I think I can repaint the car to be blue. I'm not really convinced this is a real car. It's not a manufacturer I had ever heard of. This is an ASL car. I've heard of all the other car companies in this game. I think maybe there was one other where I was like, who? But ASL, I don't know. Yes, we're gonna be seeing the same tracks a whole lot, Theo. I think this... I don't think we did this one. If you mean like as part of this cup, I don't think so. I think they're just three very similar looking ones that all have this like grass track look. Is a tuner company. So they don't make the car. They're just a company that messes with other companies' cars. A car making division. Hang on. Hold up. ASL is a car making division of the company Autoback 7, who specialize in car parts. So they mainly make parts, but then they've got a division that just finishes the car. They just draw the rest of the car. The grade B filter. You get a new parts. Please use effectively. And the Nissan Fairlady Z. Well, hold up. Let me put the filter on. Filter. Oh, I was already down a filter for no reason. Though the filter B doesn't look any better than the filter A. We'll put that on too. Why not? But yeah, I know all of these except Mitsuoka. I don't know who they are either, but they have one car and it looks like it's probably a fast car. It's kind of hard to like tell which cars are better and which are worse. I'd really have to see all the numbers next to each other, right? I think the RX-7 might be better than what I'm using right now. But it's hard to even really tell that. Like, maybe this, and then if we look back at that ASL thing, no, this kind of seems better. Hold up. So acceleration is there, top speed is there. And then if we go to my current car, no, this car is better. This car is better. Its acceleration is the same, and its top speed is slightly better. And then wait, here's the RX-7, and then here's the RX-8, which is just worse than the 7 for some reason. Don't know why they did that. The RX-7, whatever this is the best Mazda. Yeah, like, did they forget how to make good cars? I don't understand that, actually. Why is the 8 worse than the 7? Oh, I see. We're doing some reverse as well. So we're getting the full rush experience where I have to play every course mirrored in reverse. So if it's like that in real life, then why? How'd they fuck up the 8 that bad? A bigger number is supposed to mean better. Like, if they set out to make the car worse, they should have named it the 6. Damn, I lost this race. There's kind of a huge drop-off in points, too, if you don't place in first. Like, it's 10 points for first, and then only 5 for second. So that's pretty oof. That's pretty bad. Yeah, Blood Moon does suck, doesn't he? Apparently, the way the mechanics work, you want to show up to the Perilous Moons in, like, whatever the highest defense armor you have is. Like, you're supposed to prioritize defense over strength bonus. And when I started doing that, it got a whole lot less annoying. Instead of bringing the torso, you bring, like, a Barrow's body. And then the boss just sucks a whole lot less after that. But yeah, Blood Moon is way harder than the others just because of the insane amount of HP regen he has. Wow, I barely won that. nice how simple the collision model is in this game, so you can just, like, slam into other cars and then sort of use them to your advantage when taking turns. Just get the other cars to give you the assist on the turn and then leave them behind. Uh-oh. That's bad. If I don't get gold here, I'm just going to move on, and we're going to see if I can advance to the next class without getting all golds. See if it'll let me get away with, like, a bronze or a silver. I think third would be really bad. I don't want third. But it looks like I'm gonna have to be okay with second. Uh-oh. Nope, we're getting third. Shit. That's probably bronze then. Man. No, okay, it's still silver, but we'll see if it's good enough. I probably don't get whatever, like, car part. Oh, okay, I get the stainless muffler. I still get something. Put the stainless muffler on. Okay, tiny improvement. This requires the Toyota Mr. S. Or, there's a number of options. Maybe we'll go with the Suzuki Cappuccino. This car kind of looks like garbage. How's the Mr. S? That's not what this is. Toyota. Honda S2000 is also an option. Toyota. Yeah, like this is way better. And then, let's see. How's the Toyota S2000? Supra. It's like a weird old looking car. Race the minivan. Wait, I'm looking at the wrong cars. Hang on. Honda. Yeah, we're just gonna roll with this. This seems okay. Best racing game on the GameCube, obviously F-Zero GX. Not even close. I don't even know what second place would be. There's kind of a lot of racing games. I don't know, I have to think. I have to like look at a list of them. Definitely not Street Racing Syndicate. Street Racing Syndicate is a good meme, but the actual racing was like kind of bad. And there was just like a god car you had to go unlock, and then you win all the races for free. And if you don't have the god car, then the races are all impossible. It was just kind of a bad game. But the meme was good. I think maybe for me it's gonna be Need for Speed Underground 1 is a leading candidate. I can definitely see the appeal of Most Wanted. I think my impatience is sort of a problem with that game, where having to do all of the cop chases to like get through the game just like gets really irritating. But if I was a kid, that wouldn't have bothered me. If I was a kid, I definitely would. Like, if I had Most Wanted as a kid, my answer would definitely be Most Wanted. I can see it. It's just, when you're playing with the explicit goal of beating the game, and it's like, alright, just gotta do 3 more half-hour-long police chases. Buckle up, everybody, it's time to drive in circles. It's just like, And then you have your super long police chase get ruined by something dumb randomly spawning in front of you. Game definitely has a leg up on Underground 2, though. Underground 2 had so many boring races, and it made you drive to all the locations on the world map to start every event, which took absolutely 5 ever. Just really bad. So much aimless driving around on the map. That just felt like padding. Yeah, I mean, the common denominator here is that all of the games you've just mentioned were made by EA. I think it might have been an EA problem. I think they just wanted all of their games to be padded to hell. Like, SSX on tour is brutal. Just the amount of stuff they make you do in that game. I think my playthrough was like 16 hours or something, and the other 2 SSX games were like 2 hours. Obviously nothing compared to the King, Amped, but Amped is brutal in a different way. Yeah, Underground 2 had all those like... Underground 2 had those like sanctioned races. I can't remember what it was called. There was like the URL races, that's what they were called. Where it would just be like, alright, you're at the URL circuit, time to do 6 races that some intern made in 5 minutes in a map editor by placing cones. It's just like the least interesting races, and they make you do so many of them. Absolutely brutal. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Amped 2. Amped 1 was such an ordeal that it's just kind of like, well, now I have to see what they did with the sequel. At some point, I'd like to play Amped 3 as well. That's a 360 game. Someone posted a screenshot in my Discord at some point of Amped 3, I think it was Yarts, where apparently in that game, they just straight up like took sprites from the Game Boy Advance Fire Emblem games, and then just like color swapped them, and then just put them in the game in different places for some reason. It's just like literally the most like blatant theft. It's insane. But apparently Amped 3 has some kind of story mode. That's interesting to me. To be honest, Amped, the people who made Amped, I believe also made... So like Microsoft, this comes up kind of a lot, but in the early days of the Xbox, Microsoft just was like, we just have to make every game. We just need to make one of every type of game so that our console has every game imaginable on it. So they made all of these sports games, and one of them was Amped. But their tennis game is kind of interesting to me as well. I think it's the same developers as Amped made a tennis game that I'm blanking on the name of. Yeah, Topspin. They also made, I'm pretty sure it was the same developers who are also doing the Lynx games, the golf ones. Like Microsoft Lynx or whatever they call it. Lightweight level 1, you get a new parts. Slightly better top speed. Very slight. Also, yeah, PGR is going to be fun, though I think PGR might be really long as well. I have one of them, I can't remember which. This is the Demio only cup. This car sucks. But PGR seems pretty cool. I'm just like super excited for the Xbox in general, you know? So much quality content, so many games that are like probably good, but that are just like lost to time because nobody cares about the Xbox. I think the Xbox is probably better than the GameCube. Don't tell any Nintendo fans I said that because they'll hunt me down. But having now played 460 GameCube games and about 15 Xbox games, kind of feeling the Xbox, man. Such a cool console. I'm sure that if you ask me that again, like 100 games into Xbox thing, the answer will be very different. Let's see, I've played 9 Xbox games on stream so far, and I've probably played like 10 off stream, and that's like it. Also the stuff that it shares with PS2. I've probably played like 30 to 40 games already going into it that are on the list. Maybe something like that. Maybe that's a bit too much. Maybe 25 to 35, let's say. But my scope of knowledge is a lot different. I'm still mostly naive to the Xbox. Compared to GameCube, at least. You know, ask me how I feel about the console when I'm in the middle of my playthrough of Metal Dungeon. That game scares me so much, dude. I've seen the gameplay, and I'm afraid. I don't want to play that. I don't want to play Daisen Raku 7. And I think there's a couple other RTSs that I'm blanking on the name of that are also like, uh-oh. The most daunting game is Roller Coaster Tycoon. Like, bar none. Daisen Ryaku 7 is gonna be like a manual reading simulator, but you know, it'll be quite the experience. Roller Coaster Tycoon is like, there's like 100 scenarios on the Xbox version of the game. It's like the original game plus all of the DLC that they ever made for it, all the expansion packs. Plus I think some more on top of that. Like, someone brought this up yesterday, but yeah, I think the plan is intact that for Roller Coaster Tycoon, we're just gonna have, like, Tycoon Tuesdays, and I'm just gonna be doing a scenario a week for multiple years. Or I could just win one scenario and call it a day, but I don't know, it's kind of cheating. It's especially painful that you can't fast forward at all. So at some point I'm just gonna... I feel like I'm just gonna set up a winning track, or like a winning park. And it's just like, alright, now we let this idle for 45 minutes in the corner while I do something else. Well, like, that's my Xbox in use, so I can't like I mean, I do technically have two Xboxes. But like, I don't know, it's kind of... Just leave one idling in the corner playing Roller Coaster Tycoon. So that's definitely the most daunting game. Just because of the sheer amount of content. Also, the port is garbage. It's literally just like... It's just Roller Coaster Tycoon, the PC game, and you control the mouse with the left stick. That's what it is. So, like, that whole thing is just... That's just, like, kind of haunted that they decided to port it in that way. But I don't even know how you could make the interface good. Yo, what's up, Alyssa? What's up as well, Zero? I mean, there was ZooCube. ZooCube is a GameCube game that has cube in the title. There's also Tube Slider, which is one letter off of cube. And that's also a racing game. Oh yeah, also Cubivore, Cubix. That's fair, there's a couple more. Finished Resident Evil 6, nice. I feel like I have to play that. Because at this point I've played so much Resident Evil against my will that I feel like now I have to see it through and play 6. I kinda do actually want to play 7 someday, but I can't do that without first playing 6 or else I won't understand the lore. Even though I know that the games are only tangentially related. Also, it's just kind of interesting to me in general. Like, 6 had a lot of negative reception at the time, I remember. I don't know what the deal is. I think I remember hearing a lot of, like... Well, first of all, the 6 in the logo looks like someone giving a giraffe head. But second of all, I think I remember hearing that just that, like... It's like the final evolution of Resident Evil into a shooter series. Where it's like 4 is pretty shootery, then 5 is basically a third-person shooter, and I think 6 is just like, we're a third-person shooter series now. Doesn't bother me, but I think Resident Evil fans were mad about it at the time. I really remember people hating Operation Raccoon City. I don't know what the deal with that game is, but that game got like horrible reviews at the time. Things like that just make me interested, more so than if I heard the game was good. Oh no. Games for Windows Live. Well, I'm no longer fazed by negative FPS. I've seen some shit. No. There's no more Resident Evil. As far as survival horror goes, there is Silent Hill 2 and 4, and there's also a game called, like, ISIS, the Eye of Evil or something weird. That's not quite it. But there's another game that's like an obscure one. And I think that's what we've got for survival horror. Oh, there's also Fatal Frame. The Honda Fit. Very well then. This is just 2 circuits of driving these like goofy looking minivans or whatever you would even call this type of car. Yeah, wait, did I say 3? I meant 2 and 4. But yeah, no 3. Which is weird, because 3 was on Windows. They did a PC version. And they did an Xbox version of 4, so it's not like they had abandoned the console. But they didn't do an Xbox version of 3. Which is a shame, because I've played 2. And I've not played 3. And I feel like 3... I feel like 2 is like the fan favorite. And then among like survival horror patricians, you hear a lot of love for Silent Hill 3. So I want to play it sometime, but I'm not going to get to it on the Xbox. And then 4. 4 is another game that I'm really looking forward to, honestly, because it's just like... I don't really know anything about 4. I know at one point you walk into a room and there's a big head. And I know that the box art has a door with a bunch of locks on it, but like people online speak about Silent Hill 4 in a strange way that just like gets me really interested. It seems like a bit of a controversial game as to whether or not it's any good. So I definitely want to check that out. If the game is literally called GT Cube, thanks to the 30 months, Grove Spaz. I think apparently this is like the console game spin-off of what was otherwise a GBA series, mostly. Like, they were making games called GT Advance, and then they made a GameCube game, so they just called it GT Cube. Appreciate the sub a bunch, though. I hope you are doing well. Well, the Fallout game we have to look forward to... Which one is it? Is it Tactics or Brotherhood of Steel? Remind me. I don't remember. But yeah, the Fallout... The Fallout experience is gonna be a strange one. It's Brotherhood of Steel. Okay, yeah. I think people hate that game. like old school Fallout fans, but I don't know why, and I might be mixing it up with tactics. Well, here's the thing, Grosspaz. There is a Wii port of this. I forget what it's called. I think they removed Cube from the title, and it's called, like, GT something. I don't even know, but that there is, in fact, a Wii port of this game for some reason. Apparently, it was a US launch title for the Wii, even. The US did not get the GameCube version. That's why I'm playing on Japanese. Not that you can even tell that. Oh, yeah, right. Forgot about that. Call of Cthulhu Dark Corners of the Earth is also on Xbox. That's another survival horror. That's not survival horror, but that's another horror game. I guess you do have to survive the game. Yeah, everyone says that, like, the first half of that game is really good, and then apparently it gets less good, but that game has super fans. They're a ride or die Call of Cthulhu Dark Corners of the Earth enjoyers. Looking forward to that. So many games to look forward to. I assume Monster House does have an Xbox version. It was on GameCube. I played it a while ago. It was really good. So I'm not going to be playing it on Xbox, because I already did that. But I would guess it's on there. The console version is like... It's kind of Resident Evil 4-ish. You go around the titular Monster House, and it's like a third-person shooter, where you get attacked by, like, chair monsters and stuff, and you gotta shoot them. A pretty good game. I think I gave it a 5. I did give it a 5. A little bit of an undeserved 5, but I gave it 1. It's because of Thou Art Dead. Thou Art Dead puts it over the edge. The game comes with a 2D platformer, like Castlevania Ghosts and Goblins Send Up, that they just tacked on to the main game, and it's like a whole thing, and it's crazy that they made it. I think I saw the movie, but that's definitely one of those movies that I'm not sure if I saw, or if I just saw so many ads for it that I remember it as if I had seen it. I'm pretty sure I saw the movie because I remember the plot of it. Or at least I remember why the house is a monster house. And I don't think I would know that from just the trailers. I think that indicates that I actually did see the movie. Yeah, no Tokyo Extreme Racer on Xbox, unfortunately. I also am a Tokyo Extreme Racer fan. It's good. The concept of, like, taking out the street racing gangs is just, like, such an interesting one. Like, having different conditions to make them spawn in. Yo, what's up, Muck? Yeah, we're really close to the end, right? I said that once we got to the last 10, I would feel close. But to be honest with you, I still don't feel that close. I don't think I'll actually ever feel the end of Gamecube thing until it's over. I feel like that's just how it is for me. Yeah, it's because I see the remaining games, and I've said a lot that there are no good remaining games, and then Knights of the Temple happens, and it's 5 out of 5. But there's, you know, always more. But like, man, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't feel that close. I don't know. I feel like I think there's something wrong with me as a human being. Like, I'm gonna finish TTYD, and we're gonna hit the credits, and I'm gonna stop the timer, and my multi-year-long stream challenge to defeat hundreds of games will be over. And I'll just probably feel nothing at that moment. I'll just be like, well, that's it then. And that's it. It's just be like, well... like, this should be more emotional or cathartic or something, but I know it's not gonna be. And yeah, that's insane, right? They're making another Tokyo Extreme Racer after like 15 years. More than 15 years. Almost 20 years. Yeah, I feel like I need to do some kind of party or something. So wait, this was the last. We'll see if they let me move on. Okay, yeah, so you don't need to get all golds. This class was dominated, and let's advance cups of next class. You graduated from middle class. Since rivals run fast from a high-speed class, do your best. Yeah, I have to do something. I have to do something to celebrate. I mean, I think in real life I'm gonna finish Gamecube thing, and then I'm gonna go get a pizza. I think that's been my plan for a while. But like from a good place that I wouldn't normally go to, you know? We have to do the license tests before we can continue with this. Well, the toppings are to be determined. I wish I could find the picture of a couple years ago when Talon did the subscribe to add toppings to my pizza challenge, and he ended up with a pizza that was just a mountain of random foods stacked on top of a pizza. I wish I could find the picture of that again. There was like a whole ass bagel on that pizza. Yeah. There was like 100 toppings on it. You could not see the pizza under the toppings. It was just a pile of food. It wouldn't even surprise me. I don't remember, but that sounds like something they would do. Pizza as a pizza topping. Yeah, for sure. So for a long time I've had a plan to do like a high effort YouTube video where it's like, I beat every GameCube game, you know, and you'll never guess what happens next. Title's still under the work, still, you know, being worked on. But you know, some kind of thing like that. But I've been making YouTube videos recently about game dev, and what I've learned from that experience is that I cannot make YouTube videos to the extent that actual YouTubers can. Like, just the idea of having to download hundreds of games worth of footage and then edit it all and then record like I actually did write a script. I did write a lot of a script. Obviously, since I haven't finished Gamecube thing yet, I couldn't finish the script, but I was working on it for a while. And I wrote like my YouTube videos that I do about game dev I'm sort of targeting like the 10-minute mark. The last couple have been 12 minutes long. Oh, I failed. I guess you're not supposed to go on the grass. The videos have been like 12 minutes long, and it's been like 3 pages of text or something. So like that's about what the correlation is there. The GameCube thing script was sitting at like 20 pages. So it was going to be like an hour-plus long video, which is what I would want it to be. That's sort of how I envision it in my head. But another thing I've learned while making YouTube videos is just how much I hate having to record all of the audio. Specifically, something about that process is not fun to me at all. I actually like the editing, but the audio recording and having to read all that shit and then read it all again because I like made a weird mouth noise in the middle, it drives me up a wall. And I don't think I can handle reading a 20-page long script like that. I don't think I would ever get that project done. So I think I might do something. I'd like to do something. I have like a backup plan in mind, like a plan B type video that's a bit shorter. So we'll see. But I'd like to do something. No, I will not do an AI of my voice. I know that's apparently a thing. I've never run into one of these channels before, but apparently it's a thing that like there are people out there who do YouTube channels where it's like you write the script, you feed it into an AI voice, and then you like get someone on Fiverr to like edit it with all stock footage. And then you like make a bunch of money off of like really undiscerning viewers, I guess. Apparently this is a current meta on YouTube, and I think that's fucked up. I've never like come across one of these channels though. Like I've never been watching something and been like, wait a minute, this guy isn't real. Oh, well, kids' channels are just... That is an ecosystem that is fucked beyond belief. That's... You know, if I had kids right now, I would probably raise them as offline as possible. I say that as someone who was raised as online as possible, but it was a different era. It was a different era of the internet. Also, I mean, look how I came out. I don't think I'm a glowing endorsement of letting your kid hang out on the computer all day. But nah, the AI voice is always really obvious as well, right? Like, it's not family race. Midship party. Like, they just kind of have that, like, they're pretty good. AI voice can get pretty good, but they'll always say some word weird that just totally gives up the game immediately. Where it's like, no, wrong tone, wrong pronunciation of that vowel, wrong something. We'll just start with this one, because it's just this car. Yeah, like, stressing the wrong syllable or something, or like, you write a really long sentence and they just like keep going and like the cadence of the sentence is wrong. Dude, I found I don't want to put this guy on blast too hard. I found someone on YouTube who's also doing a GameCube challenge. I think he's like 50 games in, and he's doing YouTube videos about every game in the challenge. And I clicked into one of his videos because I wanted to see his take on City Racer. And there's a certain way that he was reading sentences that drove me up a fucking wall, and I had to stop after like 2 minutes. I'm trying to, like, I'm trying to even think of how I do this. But he would end every sentence like this, and he would end every single sentence exactly in this way, and he would say things like, the game has 3 courses. In each course, you have to win 3 tracks. And it was just like, oh my god. Like, once I noticed, I was like, I need to die. Like, this is insane. And it was like a 20-minute video where he said every single sentence that way. And I don't think I'm good at reading sentences off a script either. I listen back to my own videos sometimes, and I'm like, man, what a cringelord. But I couldn't watch the City Racer video. No, it wasn't rising tone, because I'm guilty of that. It was like, it's that the end of every, like, the last word would be, like, stretched out, is what he would do. Nile Red does not bother me. Nile Red is an inspiration. I do think that sometimes the first half of a sentence will make it sound like something's about to go horribly wrong, and then he'll just say, but it was fine, actually. And then it's just like, alright. I can see being annoyed by Nile Red, but personally he doesn't bother me. I can't do it on the spot, but I like to think I have a pretty good Nile Red impression. I feel like he speaks in a certain way that you can get down. But yeah, I don't know. It's weirdly hard. It's weirdly hard to, like, sound normal when reading off of a script. I don't know how anyone does it. Like, this is what separates the pro-tier YouTubers from the clowns like me. Yo, what up, Cheebs? Did you play Aria of Sorrow? Okay, it is 3 laps now. I wasn't paying attention before. I just noticed that, yeah, this is 3 laps. So we'll see if the like, final difficulty is 4 laps. I really hope it's not. Just go off script. I mean, ideally, yes. Like, there are people. I truly don't know. There's, like, as far as, like, YouTuber tier lists go, there's, like, F tier, me. Then you skip up a bunch of tiers, and then in A tier, you have, like, people who can read a script and just sound completely natural as they're doing it. And then you have S tier, people who can just talk off the cuff as if they had scripted it, even though they hadn't, for like 10 minutes at a time. I have no idea how anyone does that. Completely insane. Some people are just skilled talkers. This is why I was worried about the increasing laps thing. We're getting to the... We're not even getting to the end of this, and it's been 5 minutes. This is going to be like a 6-minute long race. Yeah, 5.5 probably. The races are starting to get a bit too long, given how many of these things I have to do. Also, how far ahead I am the whole time. I mean, I'll gladly just like blab about whatever. I mean, I'm streaming right now, right? I've been talking for an hour and a half about. But that's different because I don't sound like obviously I'm, you know, I pause a lot. There's a lot of ums, there's a lot of likes. There's a lot of saying something and then thinking back on it later and being like, yeah, I didn't say that. That wasn't the clearest way to express that thought, you know? But there are absolutely people out there who can just sit down and just like talk perfectly, and I don't get it. As for how big this game is, we are currently in difficulty 3 of 4. We've just started it. I can't show... I can't show the progress right now, but I think we're probably about 14 out of 36 cups, somewhere around there. We were at 7 starting today, and I think I probably did 7 of them to get out of the middle class. So I think we're at 14 out of 36 cups. Though the cups get longer, because now they're on the 3rd difficulty, they're all 3-lap races. So that's greatly increasing the length of it. The long play of this game that's on YouTube just like plays through each track and then calls it a day and doesn't even bother with championship mode. So they're in and out in an hour, which is what I thought I would be because I didn't realize that's what he was doing. So I really don't have any estimate for how long this game's gonna be. If I had to guess, I would guess 8 hours. I think this is gonna be an 8-hour long racing game, which is sort of long, but I guess not that long when you consider the Need for Speed games exist. Wait, does this game have live reflection? Hang on, I just saw that. It's been 2 hours and I just saw that. As we passed under that archway, there was like a super low res, low frame rate reflection of the arch in the car. I'll point it out when we drive under it the next time. But I think this game has like some crazy tech going on, actually. I think this game has real reflections on the car. Or at least of some objects, probably not everything. It really doesn't help that we have to race like one of the slowest cars in the game for this cup. They're really just taking forever. Like, look what happens as I go under the GT Cube giant tire. Watch the body of the car. Isn't that crazy? It doesn't seem like anything else does it. It's just when you go under an arch. So it's probably like... So you would think that they could hard code that effect somehow. Like when you go under an arch, trigger this animation to play as a texture on top of your car. at a speed proportional to the speed your car is driving at, something like that. Like, you could fake it, but it's so low res and so like low refresh rate that I don't think they are hard coding it in that way. It's just an interesting choice to do that. Yeah, that took 5.5 minutes. Wait, does no one else have more than 5 points right now? I thought this game had a rival system. Because, last time I cared about points because I wasn't going to win. The opponent had 15, which indicated they were placing second in everything. This game might just not have a rival system, actually. Yeah, there's a mix of, like... So we've been... For most of the races, you get to pick, like, a sports car, like a proper racing car. But then they mix in these ones where you have to pick, like, weird meme cars. We unlocked the Nissan Cube a while ago. You can race one of those, like, Daihatsu, like, K trucks, I think they're called. Where it's like a truck, but like a tiny truck. That they don't have in the US for some reason. I think for safety reasons. Why did I think that turn was left? I really thought that was a left turn. Passing by the Venus food store. And the food square on the right, and the other food square on the left. And another food square on the right. Coming up on the apricot store on the right, too. My favorite. Oh, it's on the left there. Apricot. Yeah, no, you were right, Gross Spaz. There's some guy who lives in my town who has been driving a Cybertruck around recently. I see it, like, parked places. And I think it's very funny to own one of those in the middle of, like, the most densely packed urban environment possible. Where having a car is just a massive liability, and nobody's hauling anything ever. Everyone just walks everywhere. But this guy feels the need to own the Cybertruck. It's just like peak truck owner, you know? Like, people already stereotype truck owners as never actually needing a truck. And then you have this guy. But I feel like that's also, like, doubly true of all Cybertruck owners, and this guy is just the proof of it. Yeah, it looks like ass. I feel like in pictures you can kind of at least make it... I don't know. I mean, it looks like ass in pictures, but It's at least kind of like a futuristic-y, like, alright, I get it. Then you see it in real life, and it's just like, oh. Like, it's just fucking bulbous. I don't know. I don't have any other word to describe it other than just, like, too cubular for its own good. I'm coining that word, by the way. Cubular. It should exist. Oh, good, I got green headlights. Yeah, if we go back, this is how far into the game I am. So I think I counted yesterday and there were 36. And we've done 6, 12, 14, 15 out of 36. So, yeah. And these were all 1 lap, these are all 2 lap, and these are all 3 lap. Obviously, we gotta get the green ones on. I don't know what kind of car. I'm just gonna get all the ones out of the way where you have to pick certain types of cars. Just so that I, like, don't do anything stupid. The Toyota Estima. The Toyota Estima, is that any good? I don't actually have it unlocked. Oh, yes, I do. Here it is. We're doing a minivan race. I guess so it's called the family race. Bring the whole family out to the car race. I didn't check if this was the best one, but it'll have to do, I guess. It's kind of hard to, like, check what the best car of your options is. I wish that they brought up a menu that just showed the 4 cars and, like, no ineligible cars. Like, you have to drill into the menus to get to the eligible cars. And then by the time you go to the next car to compare the stats, you, like, don't have a good mental image of what the first car's stats looked like anymore. You gotta go for, like, putting your finger on the screen so that you, like, remember its position on the bar type strats to compare stats between cars in this game. That probably didn't make any sense to anyone. I really hope that the professional class is still 3 laps. There's no way they make me do 4 laps. Yeah, exactly. So that when it moves, you can tell. Dude, this minivan sucks at turning. Whose idea was it to race in these things? We pass over that bridge and it did the reflection effect. I'm trying to see, like, is it just anything gives the effect? I'm not sure. Yeah, like, look, it'll reflect the trees as well if you get close to them. It's real. It's like real reflections. As real as non-cell shaded reflections get in a video game. Cell shading's kind of interesting. It's like, for the last 20 years, graphics programmers came up with all of these techniques to try to fake, like, making lighting look real. And then now we're at that point where it's like, actually the best technique is to just simulate the lighting properly. Like, we don't have to fake it anymore. And so many years of, like, built up institutional knowledge about how to fake it is just, like, not actually going to be useful anymore. That being said, I play, like, no modern games. I'm not sure. I have a 2060, which is not a good graphics card, but it should be capable of some limited ray tracing in some games. But I'm not sure I've ever actually played a game that supported it. Like, I don't really play modern games with good graphics, so I don't think I've ever used that feature, ever. Man, Teardown is such a cool game. PMC Trilogy should do speedruns of that again. That was an extremely comfy watch, and the tech is all really interesting because it's all just like a result of the physics system being the way it is. It's like, yeah, the fast way to do this is this wall and throw this here, and you want to put the, you want to blow up this corner and that corner. Fascinating. I think the most, like, modern game that I played is literally the Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remake. As far as, like, fancy graphics goes. Mostly I'm one of those people who uses their expensive PC to play old school RuneScape. You need that extra GPU power so that you can see, you can up the rendering distance from the default, like, 10 or whatever miserable default it's set to. I don't know how I played the game back in the day with the draw distance being so bad. You just, like, can't even see where you're going. Yeah, but, like, it's pretty bad. Is this the first time I've driven in the rain in this game? Have we had any rain tracks before? It's time for this car to have even worse handling. Perfect. Just what I needed. The computer's just crashing into walls. No one can drive on this. Except those two guys up there, apparently. It is called the family race, so I assume the family is in the car. I feel like Etsuko is a granny name. I think I only think this because that's the name of the Obatarian in Yakuza. But Etsuko is a total granny name. That's not the name of your kid who you're taking to the recital. That'd be like if I named my kid Agatha. Just like, no. What year is it? 1910? Did they recently do a Disney TV show with someone named Agatha in it? Probably have a bunch of Agatha babies in the next few months. Marvel. Yeah, I don't follow that at all. I have no idea what they're up to these days. Didn't they like... Yo, a new horn. Hell yeah. They had to like totally course correct because of the whole like Jonathan Majors thing. I think he's gonna be the main villain of like the next, like he's gonna be the new Thanos, and they had to like write him out hastily, which I find really funny. This is what we've got now. And this is D. And here's the new one. Oh! I think we have to go with type E. Damn. The horn sounds are so bad. I don't know all the details, Pixel, but they set up their main villain for the next like big arc of the Marvel movies, and then the actor got into a whole bunch of legal trouble, and got like canceled or something like that. So they made the decision to hastily write him out of the show or of the movies or whatever and bring back Robert Downey Jr. instead. I don't think I've seen a Marvel movie in like close to a decade, but I think that's what they're up to at the moment. Well, unless the MR2 is good, I'm pretty sure the Garaya is the best one here. It's a Toyota, right? I like that my reward for winning the minivan cup is a different minivan with the exact same stats. Honestly, just an even chunkier looking minivan. Alright, so here's the MR2. This could be good. But now we'll check it against the ASL. I've got my finger on the monitor. Okay, same acceleration. What was the top speed on that thing? Hang on. The top speed on the Toyota MR2. Okay, they're basically the same car. We're gonna go with the Toyota MR2. I could, but that would take me too long. I don't want to do that. Oh, actually, I'm gonna step away for a minute. I'll be back in like a second, and then we'll begin the midship party. Alright, let's do it. Midship party. I feel like I took care of the easy ones first, where you're forced to drive a really crappy car. So everyone is driving a really crappy car, so it's just like not... It's just like not that hard. Like now we're all driving fast cars, so it's actually going to be a little bit more effort. Ugh. Is that what is a midship? In term, like, as like a car term. I've never heard that before. Mid-engined rear wheel drive 2-seater. Played Gran Turismo as a kid. Was that your brother had a friend who is obsessed with the Toyota MR2 and bought GT to drive it in the game? Do you still have the Super Metroid? I cannot envision a world where PMC Trilogy is hanging out playing Super Metroid. Oh, Metroid 2. Wrong game. Wrong game. Yeah, I can't picture that one either. Yeah. I've definitely experienced that at this point. I've had to move my games collection a couple times. And it's miserable. And every time I'm moving them, I think, you know, when's the last time I even touched any of these games? Like, my gaming life is mostly not physical now. Like 98% not physical. The equivalent of $2. Turns out the Game Boy Color had a horrible screen. Correct. The Pokemon Yellow was in German and had a dead save battery. Negative experience. I had a GBA as a kid. I did have a number of Game Boy Color games. I'm not sure if Kid Me knew, like, what the deal was with why some of my games were, like, twice as tall as the console and looked like crap. I'm not sure if I knew that there was... I'm not sure I knew about the Game Boy Color. I don't know. I didn't really think of games that way. Like, I feel like this is like a boomer take, where it's like, people will say that, like, kids don't want to play old games because the graphics aren't good enough. But I remember being a kid, and I had a number of old games that were just the same as the new games. It didn't bother me at all. I didn't even really process that they, like, looked worse, quote unquote. It was just like, yep, here's other video games. So I'm not sure that kids work that way. Yeah, I feel like that's like an NES thing, though, mostly. The NES is full of a lot of actual garbage. I feel like people kind of had a handle on it after that. And the NES can still be pretty good, too. It's not all bad. It's just a lot bad. I was, for SG4E's challenge thing that he does in November, I had to play through an NES game that the Mexican runner had rated a 7 out of 10 or higher in difficulty. So I played through Metroid. So I've just recently gotten done with a playthrough of the original Metroid. Good game, but looking at the list of eligible games, it was just so full of crap. It was just, surprising amount of Koei strategy on the NES, which is really horrifying. I did not have to draw my own map because this is not my first time playing the original Metroid, and I have my old map. I drew it in Paint, and then I saved it, and I still have my old hard drive, so I still have my old Metroid map, so I was actually just playing off of my old map from, like, 10 plus years ago. And it was wrong in a couple of places. Thanks, Past Tapioca. There were a few places where you couldn't get things in a certain order without a certain power-up, and I, like, did not write that down correctly. So I'd get somewhere and then find out that I, like, needed the ice beam. And there's just no mention of that on my map anywhere. So a bit of an inefficient playthrough. Overall fun game, though. The big problem with Metroid 1, of course, is that you have to grind HP every time you die, and it takes forever. For some reason, whenever you die, they thought it would be funny to start you at 30 health, no E-tanks. So you have to sit there and grind E-tanks up, which takes, like, 20 plus minutes or something. Nah, you keep the missiles. You keep the missiles on death. So I think my playthrough overall was like 6 to 7 hours, and a lot of that game was just spent grinding. Fortunately, once you get to Turian, there's like a... I didn't even know about this. I like came up with it on the spot. There's like a... You can go in and out of a door that has a Metroid right next to it, and you can just farm the same 2 Metroids for like extremely fast health and missiles. And it's like the last room before Mother Brain, so it's literally perfect. And then as it turns out, I didn't know this either, but like, you know in Metroid when you go to fight Mother Brain, like the room is always set up like this, where like you go through a couple of like kind of small rooms where you have to like break the little barriers while the walls are shooting onion rings at you. But there's like those barriers you have to break. It turns out in the original NES game, if you kill one of those barriers, it like saves that you killed it if you die. Like it's the same as like the missile doors where it just stays open. So you can kill all the barriers, suicide to Mother Brain, and then on your next attempt you don't have to deal with them ever again. You can just go straight to the brain. So that was a huge help as well. So actually the game wasn't as hard as I thought it was. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, but definitely having the map sped things up a lot. I remember having a lot of fun drawing my own map though. I did it for Metroid 2 at the time as well. I have my own hand-drawn crappy maps for Metroid 1 and 2. Fun process, but it really slows down the playthrough. Especially if you're like me and you have to like obsessively draw all the platforms to be like correct and to scale and stuff. I'd like to play more games sometime where you have to draw your own map. It's just satisfying when you get to the end and you get to look at your map and you've got like a sick drawing. No La Mulana. Nobody makes their own map for La Mulana. That's not really... I mean, there's sort of an in-game map a little bit as far as like the rooms. The rooms being laid out the way they are. They don't show you what's in the rooms on the in-game map. I don't know how Classic works with that. But nah, I do respect La Mulana a lot, but I also know that it's not for me. You know? I think what they were going for there is extremely cool, but if I played it, I would be taking so many hints that it would just feel pointless. I'm not one to want to run aimlessly around trying anything to figure out what to do next. I got annoyed at Resident Evil 1 when the game doesn't immediately tell you where to go at the start and you have to check all the locked doors. And that's like 1/10 scale of La Mulana's problem space. I do think of it a lot, though, as far as, like, some of the puzzles just being, like, truly big brain. I know one or two puzzle solutions in the game that are just like, damn, they did that. That's so creative, but also, like, who could, like, how do you even think of that as a potential solution? And then for that to actually be the solution? Definitely wins an award for creativity in puzzle design. I don't know. Game design is so interesting to me. There's so many different games that I would like to make, but unfortunately, it takes really, really long to make one game, and also I'm bad at it, so I can't make anything. But so many interesting things out there, interesting ideas. These aren't even better. Wait, was I not using this before? I feel like it keeps resetting my... Yeah, it keeps resetting my parts. How do I get it to not do that? Hang on a second, I'm not using any of the upgraded parts that I've been getting this entire time. I think. How do I make it save that I did that? I think it's because I've been switching cars, and when you switch cars, you have to reapply the parts every time. That might be it. The fishing is going well. I've been working on it a lot. I haven't released a video about it for a while. I'm kind of overdue on the next video because I don't want to release it until I hit this like major milestone that I'm aiming for. But it's coming along. I'm doing all of the NPC scripting for the first town, and I've written many hundreds of lines of Lua and done a lot of bug fixing in the engine and shit like that. But it's really satisfying. It's actually incredibly satisfying to see it all like come together for real. Where it's just like up until, like for a really long time, it would just be like, all right, I think I'll work on my game. It's a fishing game. I haven't actually made the fishing yet. Also, it's gonna kind of work like this, but I haven't made that yet. And actually, you can't see how the game's gonna work at all. I'm gonna be working today on the text boxes, you know, stuff like that, where it's just like, you don't see the actual game when you're working on it like that. It's just like, alright, I gotta make this UI element work. I have to invent this new type of menu, this and that. I have to fix this bug where the input's not handling correctly, shit like that. So to actually start scripting the NPCs and see like, oh shit, here it is working exactly how I pictured it being for so long, is just ultra satisfying. But yeah, I think if I ever finish working on this fishing game, as much as, I mean, it is just a hobby for me at the end of the day. I'm not trying to be the next Toby Fox or whatever, but if I ever do finish it and start on the next thing, I think I will not make it from scratch. I think we will be learning an engine for the next game. We'll be learning to use an engine that comes with built-in tools and support online and more capabilities than I can make into it, so that I don't have to spend like countless hours fixing bugs with the map editor and shit like that. It'll just come with a map editor. And you know, I do it for fun. I don't do it to actually finish. I do hope to finish someday. But if my intention was to finish and ship a product, I would never have gone with the make your own engine approach. From the beginning, it's clearly a bad idea, but it's more fun. But also, I don't think I need to do it again after this. You will not pass. Oh, this isn't even the last lap. I had to muscle that guy out at the end. But I had to hit him with the Gandalf, you shall not pass, and just have him shove me across the finish line sideways. Yeah, I think as far as my purposes, like as for me, I think that it seems like Godot is the next thing. I would have said Game Maker a couple of years back, but I feel like people are jumping ship from Game Maker to Godot right now. I'm fine with that. Fuck paying for Game Maker. And fuck learning their fake programming language too. So, probably that would be the way forward. Unity and Unreal is like not for Tapioca. I have some limited Unity experience and I had a really bad time, but also just in general, not interested in 3D stuff necessarily. Just because that's too hard. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Anyone ever play? I need to remember what the name of this game is. What was the name of that? It was something made in Unity a long time ago called, like, the best game ever, something like that. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? It's the, you know, they don't stop coming in, they don't stop coming in, they don't stop coming. It's that game. Does anyone know what I'm... No, probably nobody knows what I'm talking about, but it's like a meme thing that some guy made. And I kind of think about that a lot, and it's inspiring. Hang on. I need to find this now. The best game ever, Unity. Where is this? Shit, I'm just finding a bunch of serious things. Where is this? I like raced it for Mystery Tournament, and neither of us could beat it because it's weird. It's like a game where you have to like walk around a world someone made in Unity that's just like full of nonsense and like find a bunch of money. And when you find you have to find like $10. It was something like that. And just like a weird map full of nonsense. And it's just like the biggest shitpost that some guy assembled. It's not a commercial game. It is full of copywritten material. So it's not the beginner's guide. If ID were here, he would know what I'm talking about. We raced it for Mystery Tournament once. That means it should be on my SRL. Hang on. Speedruns live. Might have been for Gamesgiving, though, so then it wouldn't even be on here. And also, we might have both forfeit. I can't find it. There were eggs or something? Were there eggs? There was like... I don't know. I'll find this later and post it in Discord and you'll know what I'm talking about. Wait, you literally said it. Soda drinking sim. Soda drinking sim. Nah, this isn't it. It's probably like this, but this isn't it. No, you didn't say it. You didn't say it literally twice. This isn't it. It had some name that was just like the best game ever. Damn, I'm gonna come in like third for this. This is bad. It has the... Yeah, okay, well, is it soda drinking sim that... Hang on, soda drinking sim. Soda drinking simulator. This is like I'm just getting results for like a Roblox level. Soda Drinker Pro. It doesn't look anything like this. Development. And one day in 2008. Our initial release of 5. No, the game doesn't have levels. This is definitely not it. The time frame makes sense, but that's definitely not it. I'll track this down. I'll find it. Hopefully this doesn't totally screw me over. I know I can get bronze and move on to the next difficulty, so it should actually be okay. Well, look at the point scaling here. The top 3 of us have points, and no one else has any points. The game looks and sounds like absolute garbage in every way possible. There are no redeeming qualities. Sign me up. Now I'm interested in playing Soda Drinker Pro. Yeah, pretty much. Look, it's a racing game. What am I supposed to do? Be engaged in the gameplay? I'm just holding the A button. And I do love racing games. But this is always how it goes. For some reason, it's the easiest game. The easiest kind of game to just get onto any other topic of discussion. For some reason, in quotation marks. Yeah, I've never been a car person. The cars themselves are of no interest to me. Dude, we get so many racing games on the Xbox. It's like, the Xbox is like the second coming of the N64 as far as how many racing games are on that thing. Because yeah, there's 2 Burnout games, there's 2 PGR games, there's Forza, there's Sega GT, there's 2 Outrun games. That's not even counting, like, there's multiple test drive games. There's a bunch of just, like, random ones that no one's even heard of. I think there's some Colin McRae Rally in there. Midtown Madness. Crazy Taxi 3. Flat Out. Midnight Club. Multiple Midnight Clubs, I think. There's an extreme amount of racing. We're gonna I'm gonna have to actually start a podcast, I think. Oh good, another horn. Just what I needed. They're really, like, giving me so many horns. This is our current one. Here's the new one. Is that even new? I guess it's slightly different. I'm gonna stick with type E though, because it's weird. E doesn't even sound like a horn. I don't know why it is the way it is. What do we got left? A bunch of championship races. March 1 make. It's gotta be the Nissan March. Here it is. I don't think you could... I really don't think you could build a song around sampling any of these horns. That didn't just sound awful. It's a non-starter. It's not a good sample. Any producers in the chat can prove me wrong. That's something like... I may be bad at pretty much everything I do, but I still do it. I haven't the faintest idea how to make music, and that's kind of a problem for my game. I'm gonna have to learn how to make music. My current knowledge is 0. Not even a speck of knowledge. Out of my way, please, sir. Yeah, Driver 3 and the GTA games. Not exactly racing games, but you do drive a car. I guess that's kind of in line with, like, Crazy Taxi's not a racing game, but you do drive a car. I don't know what Midtown Madness even is. Midtown Madness 3 is an Xbox game. And I think... I have no idea. I have no idea if you race cars in that game. But you definitely drive them. Oh yeah, there's another Rush game. LA Rush is on Xbox. They've abandoned the Bay Area and gone to LA for that one. Well, it switched back to Horn A because I switched cars, so all of my tuning got undone. It's really annoying how it's like that. Is Midtown Madness the precursor to Midnight Club? I have no idea. You know, I think it probably is, because it's like, who's that dev? They got bought by Rockstar. Like, the Midnight Club games are published under the Rockstar name. But I think that might have been Angel Studios, maybe? Yeah. I think there's some connection there. Three was a different dev, I see. Yeah, Angel also made, Angel also made Transworld Surf. Classic game. think. I think they did that. Midtown Madness 3 was DICE? Really? DICE used to be interesting. DICE made the Shrek game. Someone needs to convince the higher-ups at EA that it's a good idea to make a third Mirror's Edge game. Not even that I liked Mirror's Edge Catalyst all that much, but I'm just saying. Isometric view combat car game. I kind of like top-down racing games more than I have any right to. So the isometric thing sounds interesting, but I hear combat and I peace out. Car combat. You know, so the thing about that, Roberta, I actually did go and casually play through the Shrek game again on Xbox. Once I got my Xbox set up for Xbox thing a while ago, or at least I was trying to get it set up, I just like downloaded a bunch of games to test, and I ended up replaying through all of Shrek, and it is pretty much the same game, but missing some levels, so I'm not going to replay it. For all intents and purposes, Shrek and Shrek XL are the same game. Oh yeah, there's also Pulse Racer. Go look up the box art for Pulse Racer for Xbox. It's just the worst looking game. It inspires no confidence, and like it's developed or published by Jalico, which is like also like run for your lives when you see that logo. So it just, I don't know, man. But yeah, that's another one. And of course, there's like 5 Ford games. Can't forget about the 5 different Ford games that exist. We've played one of them. We started with Ford Racing 2. There's Ford Racing 3, Ford Street Racing, Ford Mustang, The Legend Lives, and Ford versus Chevy. There's also, like, the Dodge Experience, or whatever the hell that is, where it's like a digital showroom and not even a game or something. Ludacris always brings this one up, and I always forget what it is. But there's some kind of weird one. Volvo Drive for Life, that's what it's called. Whoever was typing that can delete it, because that's what it's called, I remembered. Volvo Drive for Life is a thing. I'm out of things to say now. I'm just driving the car. Yo, the CPU Sports and the Nissan Elgrand. Let's do... I don't know what cars are allowed to drive in the FF party. I don't want to show up with this crappy car that I don't actually need to drive. So let me put something on they probably won't accept. And then it'll tell me what it wants. We'll go with this. Sure, whatever. And then we hit entry. No. There's a lot of options though. The Suzuki Wagon R. Like, I don't know if... This is just like crap cars only, I think, probably. But I don't know what the best crap car is. It might be the Honda Civic. Kind of into the Honda Civic. Yeah, the Copen is... Hang on. This guy. The stats are not good on the Copen. The stats are way better on the Honda Civics. I think we're gonna go with this. I feel like this is probably the best we're gonna get. I'll check some of the Toyotas too, though. Let's see, Toyota. Yeah, the Vitz is trash. The MRs, they probably don't allow. The Supra is slightly better. I don't know if they allow the Supra. Let's try it. No, I'm not gonna bother. I think we're gonna roll with this. And like hold up, because now that I've got this car, I want to actually go back and apply all of the tuning stuff. Make my car suck less. This does literally nothing. Okay. Oh, does FF mean front wheel drive? Well, what's the second F? Well, yeah, but you'll notice that the word engine doesn't have an F in it. I'm a linguistics professor, I know this. Oh, I see. So it's front engine forward wheel drive. Could you do a front, like a... I don't really know what any of that stuff does to the car. Like forward wheel drive versus rear wheel drive versus like a four-wheel drive. I don't know what any of that means, but... Could you do like a front wheel drive with a rear engine? I feel like that has the potential to be really fucked up somehow if you were to make that. Like, that means that all the weight's in the back, but it's like the front that's like towing that weight along or something. I don't know. I think that would probably be a bad car design. Ugh, man, it's so punishing to hit a wall. This is all car information that I'm gonna immediately forget. What? Wait, hang on a second. Did that guy just clip right through me? Did I just clip right through him? Am I seeing this? Well, they should have thought of that then. I don't know. I feel like the issue is just that... like, the way collisions with other cars in the game are... I can kind of see how if you ended up behind it... like, I cannot impart force on another car by crashing into it, I feel like. And so, if the car is slammed into the wall in front of me, and then I also slam into that car behind it, like, I can't push that car forward, and that car can't stop my car from going forward, too. So you just kind of go through their car. That's just kind of what happens, I think. I'm doing a horrible job here, but so is everyone else, apparently, so it's fine. Also, I've obviously just got the best car. The Honda. Whatever it is I'm driving. The Honda Civic. I think the next guy had 5 points, so I think I can literally come in last in this race and I just win. Do you do bank standing content in the inner Tazar area? I kind of hate that bank. I would never... Even the outer area, that's like a least favorite bank of mine, probably. I'm a big supporter of bank standing at the Trouble Brewing bank chest. Okay, so the lore here... So basically, it's when you gather a whole bunch of resources ahead of time, and then, in order to train a skill, You just stand at a bank, constantly taking stuff out of the bank, processing it, and then putting it back in. So bank standing content will involve you standing at a bank for sometimes hours at a time, just using the bank. So obviously you want to pick your favorite bank for this. I mean, I'll vary the banks that I stand at. This is a RuneScape thing, yes. Also, LOL, I'm literally just gonna place dead last in this race. This track is too hard. Okay, well that's just you being a shitter then, Theo. If I proudly made it into the inner part of the city with my cheese cape, and then you're like, oh, nice cape, loser, then I'm probably gonna say something mean back. The loser is implied. Well, banks in real life only store money, not items. I mean, I know you can get like a secure deposit box, but that's not really what we're talking about here. I think IRL bank standing would have to be like at a storage facility, right? Like you've got your storage thing, and then you stand outside processing all the materials you've got inside it. You could load it up with like firewood or something. I feel like that would be a fire hazard. I feel like if one of those storage places found out that you just had like your storage thing literally just filled to the ceiling with wood, just like firewood that you found, they would like kick you out. We'd probably do that, and then you'd like take it out 14 at a time to make them into bow and arrows. Yeah, cooking at the Myths Guild. Magic if you're like plank making or degriming or super glass making or whatever. I wish I could plank make. Magic is too hard. Plank make would make my RuneScape life a lot better right now. I did hear about that the Onion bought InfoWars. That is really funny. But I thought about it for a second afterwards, and I was thinking like, alright. Well, first of all, I don't really read the Onion or whatever. I have no beef with the Onion, but it's not a website I visit. But it's just like, I don't know, man. At this point, like, the brand name is so toxic. There's nothing you could do with that domain that would even get me to, like, feel normal about visiting it. Maybe it's just a personal hang-up. But I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna go read InfoWars. No, wait, not that InfoWars. They're different now, I swear. Like, I'd be, like, justifying this to myself. But yeah, definitely it's more about just like fucking with Alex Jones, so that's good. I support that. a couple of years ago, my sister used to have this job running social media for some, like, charitable organization. I don't know all the details. Wait, what? You lose, do you retry? I don't get to continue unless I place at the top? Oh, it's one of those racing games. And I have 5 retries. We have to actually be good at this race, I think. Shit. This game just got way harder. I thought I could just, like... Because on points, I don't need points from this race. I already win a cup. I already win the cup. So I was content to just be in last. Apparently that's not gonna cut it. They're hitting me with, like, the Super Mario Kart, where you need to place towards the top. I'm not good enough for this. I'm not good enough for this, clearly. Okay, but yeah, my story was kind of uninteresting. It was just that my sister used to do, like, Twitter stuff for some, like, I think it was, like, some charity about, like, teachers. I don't know the details. Some teacher organization. And InfoWars wrote a story about some tweet that she posted because they were angry that it was woke or something. And so for, like, a week... a bunch of InfoWars readers were harassing my sister online. Which is incredibly weird. You suddenly have a bunch of InfoWars people coming after you. Unexpectedly. I mean, maybe if I say no, then it'll let me continue and just give me 0 points for this race. That's kind of cope. That's kind of a little bit of coping, but maybe. Otherwise, like, anytime I have to race on this track, we're screwed. We're completely screwed. This track is impossible. Yeah, I feel like the way it probably works is you have to place in the top 5 or 6. You have to get points out of this race. Otherwise, you're not allowed to move on to the next race. Which I feel like is kind of bullshit. Like, this is something that always used to bug me about Wave Race. Like, there's 12 racers here. But if I'm not allowed to move on unless I place towards the top, then why do they let all these other losers move on who always place in dead last, you know? How come I'm the only one who gets penalized here just because I'm a human? Sometimes in Wave Race Blue Storm, there's no rival system, so sometimes you'll find a situation where the circuit isn't over yet, but literally everyone except for you doesn't have enough points to move on, and everyone just gets to move on anyway. But in my opinion, it should end early because everyone else is below the threshold. Like, you could just see it right on the screen that nobody has enough except me. You have to keep playing. They just get to continue. It's kind of like the first half of this track that's hard. The second half of this track, for some reason, I've got a handle on. I can sort of gain on people. Hey, ID. It's pretty unremarkable. I'm currently getting completely owned by this track that apparently I think you might have to actually win the race in to continue, which sucks. You can see on the mini-map that it is quite the track. I think you need like top 5 or top 6. Oh yeah, hold up, ID. I can't remember if you were there or not, but a long time ago, a couple of years ago or something, in Mystery Tournament, or maybe it was for FunFest, I raced someone in like a weird Unity freeware game where you had to like walk around and like get dollars. And anytime you got the dollar, it would play like the holla holla get dollar clip from that one YouTube video. And you had to like get all $10, and after like an hour and a half, neither of us could find the 10th dollar. And so I think we just like canned the race and played something else. But do you remember what this game was? Or does this sound familiar to you in any way? Only the age group. No. No, you just sort of walked around in like a very crudely made like Unity map full of weird shit and memes, and nothing made any sense, and you just had to find the $10. There's like a thingy where when you stand near it, it says, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming. It just keeps looping that, like from, you know, Smash Mouth or whatever. And I think there's a dollar over by it or something. It had some name that was like the coolest game of all time or some shit like that. It was made a really long time ago, I think. It's like an early-ish Unity game, and it's just like some guy's freeware shitpost that he made. There's like a giant rainbow funnel that has a dollar at the end of it, and the dollar that I couldn't find was on top of the rainbow funnel. You had to like jump down from somewhere else in the map and get on top of the rainbow funnel to get the dollar. There was like a maze where everything is just white, so you just can't see literally anything. And you're just like moving through this maze where the entire screen is just white. I think. It might have been a different color, I'm not sure. But there was an annoying maze section that had at least $2 in it. I know there's like a subreddit out there for like, I think it's called Tip of My Joystick, which is a sus name. The Fantastic Game, that's gonna be it. The Fantastic Game. Yeah, there you go, that was it. The Fantastic Game. Holy shit. Yeah, here it is. Look at this absolute masterpiece. I was trying to remember the name of this like a long time ago. Or like an hour ago in the stream, and I couldn't get it. But yeah, there you go. The Fantastic Game. And yeah. There's like a song that plays in the game where some guy sings about feeling fantastic, I think. Yeah. It like plays in a room right next to where you start the game. I think there's like a pit that if you jump in the pit, it's just a soft lock. And you're just like stuck in the pit and you just have to reboot the game. So we were warned before starting the race that under no circumstances should you ever jump in the pit. There's no dollar down there. Yeah, it was, it's an interesting game. It came up because we were talking about game design, and I was just saying that I think of that game a lot. It's kind of like, I don't know, a while ago, or like a week or two ago, in Spock's stream, we did a PowerPoint party where everyone showed up with a PowerPoint presentation about something random they were interested in. And I rated a bunch of local pizza places. That's what I did for mine. But Chibi did theirs on the game Yume Nikki. And that's also kind of just a game where you just like walk around. That's like, the fantastic game is just the shitpost version of Yume Nikki, is what I'm trying to say. But there's some legs to the idea of just making a really weird looking game where you just walk around and look at weird stuff. And just the outright strangeness of it is kind of a reward in and of itself. Another good example of this would be that one SM64 ROM hack. I can't think of the name of it. It's called like Super Mario 64 B133 or some shit like that. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Someone did like an SM64 ROM hack that's just like kind of like Backrooms inspired, where you just delve deeper into the castle and there's just more and more strange stuff. Yeah, B3313. There's some legs to the game where you just see strange things and you walk around and it just keeps getting deeper and stranger. Yeah, that too, LSD Dream Emulator. That's another one. These games are all way more artistically interesting than the Fantastic game, but the Fantastic game belongs in this genre as well. Juggernaut is too much of a structure. Juggernaut rules, though. This is a pro-Juggernaut stream. This horror anthology, kind of like Myst-style adventure game, where you play through different, like, weird scenarios that don't make any sense. I'm gonna run out of continues. We're just gonna find out what happens when we run out of continues. It's gonna kick me back to the menu, for sure. This race is gonna be a problem. I would love to make a point-and-click adventure game. I feel like just designing it would be so much fun. Like thinking up all of the puzzles and how they all work and how everything connects together. I'm growing stronger. 5th place on lap 1. Oh god, okay. Okay, no. Yes. True freedom to go someplace that has no relevance to the story whatsoever. But then how does the player know where to go? And also, I don't know. By actual... So, like, you would have to figure out where to go by solving the puzzles. But if you didn't solve the puzzle correctly, there wouldn't necessarily be... Like, it wouldn't be like, oh, that's not a real place, we can't go there. Like, you would just go there. So it would really be more like... Your feedback that you're wrong is that you can't find any clues nearby that are useful. I feel like if I played that, I'd just be like stressed out the whole time that I missed something. Where it's like, shit, what if that other place did actually have clues and I just didn't see them? Like, that's something that always bugs me in any game that has a puzzle. I'm always stressed out about, like, is it that I can't solve the puzzle right now and I have to come back later? Or am I simply not getting it? Like, am I missing something? Or is it unsolvable? Whenever that question arises, I'm just like, that's such a bad vibe to me. That's why I don't like Zelda games, by the way. I don't know, you just gotta commit to this. Like, you just gotta, yeah. Like, you just gotta make the game anyway, and just trust that the kind of person who isn't me will seek it out and enjoy it. Like La Mulana. I think I probably have to get into third, but we're close. I've got another lap to not screw this up. Honestly, doing that is probably better than crashing into the outside of the turn, which is what I usually do there. Player freedom is kind of an interesting question as well, because at least in my experience playing games, now I'm a very uncreative and boring person, but at least in my experience, whenever there's something truly Gigabrain that you can do in a game, where it's like you would never expect this interaction to work, but it does, like we thought of that. Personally, I'm just like, yeah, that's not gonna work. Like, I'm too quick to assume. And I think a lot of gamers are like that, where you're too quick to assume the boundaries of what is and is not normally possible in games. Like, if there was, this is an extreme example, and this isn't a real example either, but like if there was a game where you had to solve a puzzle by like physically like Alt F4ing the game, I feel like nobody would ever think of that, because like that's out of bounds. You can't do that. I think a lot of people would have a hard time thinking of something like that. There has to be some kind of boundaries. Yeah, I couldn't remember what game it was, but there is that, right? That's Phantom Hourglass. We have to close the DS to make something happen. I don't know how well they signpost that, because I haven't played it. Wait, what track was that? That was like impossible. Heights Mountain. Now I know to look out for Heights Mountain as something to put off till later. Oh, there's Heights Mountain again. Lovely. And I don't mean like meta elements like gimmick stuff where it's like, you know, close the game or close the DS or whatever. But I just mean in general, like things that are so outside the bounds of normal that players just wouldn't expect it. And I kind of don't mean moon logic for that either, like your classic adventure game moon logic. I'm having a hard time putting this into words. Anyway, give me my RX-7 back. You can use any car for this, so I'm using a good car. I see. I could never be Sakurai, who made like 250 videos about game development, because I can never explain what I mean about this stuff. Sakurai, an absolute legend for doing that, by the way, even if a lot of the videos are kind of irrelevant. To be honest. Yeah, I watched his, I haven't seen like all of those videos or anything, but I clicked on some here and there and they had good titles, and I watched his like finale video. His finale video is super crazy, and very surprising that kind of surprised that he revealed how much money it cost him to make the videos, but also, goddamn, it was so much. He spent like $700,000 of his own money to make all of these YouTube videos. He's what a fucking legend. Yeah, for real, it is. There were some good ass Sakurai videos in there. The one on his game collection is like one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Like unintentionally one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Like he did a video where he just shows off his personal game collection, and it starts kind of normal as far as he's like, all right, here's how I store my NES and Super Nintendo games. As you can see, they're on shelves, and it's like, all right, okay. And then he's like, for disc-based games, I immediately throw away all of the packaging, and all of my disc-based games just live in all of these binders. And he takes out like a dozen different binders that are all just full of CDs for different things. And I'm like, all right, I know people do that. That's horrible, but I know people do that. And then he's just like, all right, so here's my living room. I had custom built a cabinet that has every modern game console in it, with like special holes for all of the wiring, and like a rack on the side for storing my game controllers, and like all of these switches so I can easily switch between consoles. And I'm like, all right, we have entered custom furniture territory. And then at the end, he's like, by the way, I have a second one of these in my office, which of course means I also have 2 of everything. I have 2 PS5s, 2 Xbox Series X's, 2 Switches, all of that shit. Just so that I can have all of my custom furniture in 2 different rooms. And it's just like, holy shit, man. Like, the video just sort of like ratchets up in craziness as you go on. And I was just like literally laughing by the end of it. It's just like a grand reveal at the end, when he also says he has 2 of everything. No, don't pass me. Wait, is this the end of a lap? No, you can pass me for now, it's fine. Yeah, somehow, I don't know, the impression I get, this makes no sense, feel free to disagree with me. I feel like Sakurai is both incredibly, like, respected and acclaimed as a game director, and yet still underrated at the same time. Dude is such an actual legend. People give him a lot of credit, and I still think people aren't giving him enough credit. Well, that's worth it as well, Under the Skin. You can't you can't just make a game inspired by other games. I mean, you can. Plenty of people do, and they come out good. But I feel like having other sources of inspiration does help a lot, if nothing else. I don't know, like, I've never personally been that big of, like, a Kirby fan, but when I was watching Macaw play Kirby Superstar a little while ago, I was thinking about it, and, like, Macaw was super into that game, and he had a point that I hadn't thought about, that, like, yeah, it is, like, a bunch of little games, where then, like, for every copy ability, there's, like, a whole-ass move set, which, like, 6 or 7 different moves, and there's, like, 20 different abilities or something. And he's like doing all that on the Super Nintendo. It's just so, it's so detail oriented, and like everything has all these different interactions. Like, it's an incredibly detail oriented game that's like sort of simplistic looking at first. And it's kind of just insane to have been doing all of that at the time. And that's kind of how he does all of his games. Like, every Smash game is like that as well. It's like the level of customization and like depth of the detail is just like crazy, and like no one else would do it that way. I mean, like, Sony tried, they made their own Smash game and it's fucking terrible. Man, this sound effect sounds horrible. This car specifically in the tunnel. This sounds really bad. Yeah, it sounds like the sound the GameCube makes when the game crashes. It makes that, like, horrible, high-pitched whine. And it's not that high-pitched, but you know the one. You can hear the sound. Anyone who's watched enough GameCube thing knows exactly which sound I'm talking about. Well, I feel like that's... oh, beautiful. A symphony. That sounds right, but I feel like there's a specific tone. I feel like there's a specific tone to when a GameCube game crashes that's the same across all games. Which wouldn't make sense if it was just repeating the audio buffer. I would make it for you now. That's fine. Thank you for your offer. Oh shit, hello. Didn't realize the second car was that close to me until I heard him. I don't know, I could like find a clip of what I'm talking about. I feel like there is one very distinct GameCube crash sound. That could be true. That sounds real, but I don't know specifically what you're referring to. The black... I've never heard of that before. What's the black hole glitch? Do I need to boot up Melee? You can make Melee crash really easily. Explain. Explain, because I'm probably done racing for today, so... Now's the time. Wait, hold up, that might not have actually saved. Okay, yeah, there we go. Wait, Melee black hole glitch. How do you do this? What the hell? Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to, like, do that, actually. But he's got, like... he's just reflecting a bunch of projectiles back and forth between Fox and Falco. Yeah, maybe I'm not gonna do this right now. That's interesting. Hang on, is this a clip of the sound? I just clipped straight into... Okay, that is a good clip. That is not the sound I was expecting. That is a unique crash. That is not what it normally sounds like. That is a good one. But anyway, I'm gonna stop here for today. I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna be done with GT Cube for now. We'll pick this game up again tomorrow. Where am I at? We've done some number of races. I don't think I'm gonna beat this game tomorrow. Especially not if I have to, like, game out of my mind on that one mountain track a whole bunch of times. So I will probably not beat this tomorrow, but we will get close to beating it tomorrow, hopefully. You can look forward to that. It's super exciting.